What's up? What's going on, people? I have immunity with all the corona. Jesus. Happy coronavirus week, everybody. It's been a crazy week, has it not? How are y'all tonight? Anybody on my stream have coronavirus? If so, I need you to go ahead and hop off now, so that way we don't all get... No, I'm kidding. Oh, man. It's been a crazy week, guys, with all this stuff going on, I gotta tell you. But I'm still going live. No, I'm not sick. I'm gonna sound a little sick. It's just because there's pollen everywhere and I have terrible allergies. So I've been congested and stuffy for the last 2 days, or 3 days, maybe 4 days. I don't even know. But I'm not sick, so no worries. All good there. Frankie C says he's on Corona break and happy to see me. I'm happy to see you too, Frankie. Thanks for showing up, man. Also, my birthday's tomorrow. And I'm going to Florida next week for a vacation plus a little birthday treat, so that'll be fun. But if you guys feel like super chat me for my birthday, I feel like that sounds so needy. Sorry, I'm cleaning my camera off. It's got a little dust on top. I don't like it having dust. Anyways, but yeah, tomorrow is my birthday. I promise you I'm not sick. Like I've been like this for like 4 to 5 days now. I don't feel like drowsy. I don't feel like, lethargic or anything like that. It's literally just congestion and stuffy nose. But definitely not sick. But yeah. And I hope I don't get sick. It's my damn birthday. Who gets sick on their birthday? That would be my luck, actually, would be to get sick on my birthday. That would suck. God, I'm going to Florida next week. Like, I would hate to get sick right before I go on vacation. No vacation, staycation. Well, I'm driving down to Florida, so I'm not taking a flight, if that makes you guys feel any better. And when I get down there, I'm going my family is all down there in Orlando, or near the Orlando area. So there's a little fuzz flying. I just realized how stupid I probably looked up in here. Oh boy, this is gonna be a fun night, I'm telling you what. Let me see here. Yeah, the flooded basement it finally got resolved today. It took them 4 days. No. Well, I guess it was Monday that it started. So 4 days to get my plumbing situated so I could use the bathroom and take a shower. It's been hell. I've been having to go over to Ted's house just to use the bathroom or take a shower. It's been ugh. Which, speaking of, Ted got me a little birthday present. Got me some Jameson. This live segment is sponsored by Jameson. But if you guys don't know, I do love me some JMO. It is definitely my favorite whiskey. As far as like the cheaper, household whiskeys are concerned. So yeah. Thank you, Ted. And Jamie. Jamie, his fiance. Both of them are my really good friends. You guys know Ted. You don't know Jamie. But that's okay. Actually, you might know Jamie. She hops on the live sometimes to make fun of me and say hello. But they got me a bottle of Jameson for my birthday. So if you guys feel like super chatting me, like, $1, I'll take $1 for my birthday. You guys remember when, we were kids and you'd go into school and you'd see, the girls with the freaking safety pin attached to their shirt with, a $20 bill, and by the time they get done with the end of the day, they had, $120? People just giving them dollars because it was their birthday. It was ridiculous. Anybody else in here, did any of y'all ever deal with that? Did y'all know people who did that for their birthday? Now, because of the pandemic. No, Ultra, every business still needs marketing. Yes, we have come to a little bit of a halt. Yes, it is a lot slower for some businesses, but there are definitely still businesses out there who need marketing. And there's, to be honest, more businesses should be using it now than not. And the reason why is because, you're getting cheaper exposure. Like ad costs have dropped substantially because everyone's stopping spending. When everyone stops spending, that means more inventory opens up, which means the cost per thousand drops. So that is your instant sell. Like, if anything, you should be spending now because of the fact that you're going to be able to get more exposure for a cheaper amount. Do VIPs get... No. No one gets access to 2.0 for free unless you win it. And I hardly ever do like giveaways for 2.0. So I doubt that you will get it for free. Nobody gets it for free. Unless you have enrolled in my Done With You program. We have a Done With You program where I actually work on your agency with you. That's really the only way you get the DMS 2.0 for free. So, what have you guys been doing for Corona? I'm interested. Before we start getting into all the questions about starting an agency, I'm interested. What have you guys been doing to combat the coronavirus? What have you been trying to do to either strum up new business or make it through your 9 to 5? Like I know some of you are still in your 9 to 5 position, or in your 9 to 5 job. So has that affected you? Have you not been able to work this week because of that? And if you didn't get to work, are they at least compensating you where you were working? Like, for example, this girl I'm dating, she is getting like 80% of her normal paycheck. So even though they're not going into work, they didn't go into work all week this week, they're not going into work next week, and they're still going to get an 80% paycheck, which is pretty dope. So what's going on in you guys' life? Tell me what's going on. I'm interested to see what you guys have going on. Lee Harding says he completed the DMS 2.0 today. Lee, what are your thoughts? Tonight will not be the night. What you talking about? Best outreach method for clients. I like using LinkedIn and Facebook groups. I'm not going to lie, my buddy Rob Quinn put me on some different methods to generate some leads. We even put out a video about it like Tuesday, so if you haven't seen that video, definitely make sure to check that out. It's on my channel, obviously. But he and I, oh wait, no, that's not what that video was about. The live Q&A was what it was. I had Rob on for a live Q&A not too long ago, where we discussed how he's landing 20 to 50 appointments per week for his agency. So I would recommend checking that out, but I would also recommend checking out the video that I released on Tuesday with Rob, which talks about hitting the numbers and a big reason why people don't actually get the sales that they need for their agency. So if you're wanting some sales info, you definitely need to check out those two videos. I promise you won't regret it. Lee says it's a lot of info to take in, but amazing. Lee, have you taken any other like SMMA related programs? Have you taken Ties or Billie Jeans or Iman or Jordan Platten or any of these other guys who think they have a badass SMMA course? Because I would like to see how mine compares to theirs. And it's not even about my ego. It's more about the fact that I'm always trying to make sure that I have, like, I don't want to tell people I have the best product in the market if I don't have the best product in the market, even though that's what a lot of people do. I'm just not up for lying to people. So, you know, I don't know. I'm always curious to see how my program stacks up to others. And I honestly do think that we have the best program in the market. Ultra, I don't know what you mean by VIP program. What do you mean by that? Nah, Tide just seemed too fake and money grabbing. I get that a lot. A lot of people have said that. Have you taken anybody else's though? Just mine? I'm just curious. My 9 to 5 is selling cars and it's been slower than slow. Good thing is I run ads for the dealership as a separate deal and I'm adjusting our campaigns to fit the events, pushing virtual car shopping. Ooh. See? That's what I'm talking about, process. Thinking on your toes. Trying to find a way to resolve the issue without making a big deal out of it or saying, oh, we're just all screwed. We're never going to make it. Like, that is not what happens. Like, people just have to understand, okay, a pandemic comes about, there might be some different ways that we could try to, go about this. So for example, me and my team, or my team and I, this week talked about putting out a special type of campaign that relates to the coronavirus and working at home, and how this is the perfect opportunity to begin doing that because you have the free time to begin learning, right? So always trying to, guys, that's what a good marketer does, though. They don't look at a situation and say, oh, we're fucked. They look at it and say, okay, well, how can we adapt? How can we work around this potential downfall or this downfall to do better, or to get, a better result, or to even just sustain if that's what's required. Lee says he's just taking mine right now. So Lee, the only thing I would say, man, and this is what I tell everybody, because again, it's not even about the money for me. I want you to be able to do the best you possibly can. Suj, thank you for the happy birthday. I appreciate it. It is tomorrow, just so you guys know. It's not today, but at 12 o'clock midnight, it's officially my birthday. But the biggest piece of advice I try to tell new people or people coming into this industry, and again, it has nothing to do with me making money, because I don't make money off of selling other people's programs. My advice is for you to take 2 to 3 different programs. And the reason why is because I'm going to teach you something different than Ty Lopez will teach you, or Billie Jean will teach you, or any of these other guys out here will teach you. A lot of the strategy, a lot of the theory, methodology is the same. But there are some nuances to marketing. For example, Billie Jean is great at telling stories. He's great at creating video marketing campaigns that just absolutely kill it. And that is something that, we're good at it. But I am not afraid to admit that Billie Jean creates better entertainment style content than I do. And it's because he definitely has a better team of writers, planners, strategists, all of that, which is cool. But there's something that you can learn from Billie Jean. And that's the point that I say in making sure that you guys, if you can afford it, and you're willing and you're really committed to this process, don't just buy my program. You need to look at all these other guys out there who are actually worth looking at, Billie Jean being one of them. I admire that guy so much. I love what he does with his marketing. Excuse me. Again, not sick. This is from pollen and allergies. I've been like this for 5 days, and I feel great. But point being, guys, look into other trainers. That's really going to help you out. Also, I'm looking at this live stream feed over here, and I got to tell you guys, we've got 21 people on, and I have 0 likes, 0 thumbs ups. So if you guys want to win the mentorship giveaway today, and you want me to do the giveaway, then I need you guys to start hitting that thumbs up, because if we don't get at least 15 to 20 thumbs ups, I'm probably not going to do a giveaway today. And it's my birthday, so don't make me do that to y'all. Do some sales training, Jordan, with Rob. Sujdid 18. I know that's not how you say your name, but there's no way in hell I'm pronouncing that. I couldn't. But that is the plan. Me and Rob have already talked. We talked 2-3 days ago. He's coming down in Q3. I think I told him July or August. I had to figure out which months were 7 and 8. July and August, I think he's coming back down to Atlanta, and we're going to shoot some more video content, some training. I know that we are already in talks about getting him inside of my DMS 2.0 program. A real big benefit of the DMS 2.0 is outside of myself doing a ton of the training, we invite other experts out there within their specific niche to do training on that topic. So for example, we've had Maxwell Finn come in to talk about Facebook ads. We are potentially going to have Rob Quinn come in to talk about sales. We've got Nathan Hirsch, who's done stuff on outsourcing and building a team. We've got Ruan Marino, who's done SEO related content. There's tons of guys in this program that I've built relationships and friendships with and not even that, but I just trust them. I know that these guys are not flukes. They're not guys who just put out a course to sell a course to rip you guys off. These are guys who truly know what they're doing. And so, trust me, when Rob and I first started talking, and he even reached out to me, that was the crazy thing. I remember when he first reached out to me, he was just starting his channel, and he had no subscribers. I mean, he had maybe 1,000 at the time, and he wanted to do some collaboration. But at the time, I was getting so many, requests to do collaboration. I was like, look, I can appreciate what you're doing. I admire the fact that you're getting at it so hard. But, come back in like 3 months and let's see where you're at then and see if it's going to be worth both of our times, right? Because I was still a small channel then, so it didn't make sense for me to necessarily partner with someone who had 1,000 subscribers then. And even though his YouTube channel didn't grow too much, his Facebook group and Facebook presence grew a ton. And so he came back and we started talking again, and I was like, yeah, dude, totally. Like, let's get you in and we'll have you talk about some sales. And he's been killing it ever since. And this was, 1.5 years, 2 years ago almost, which is crazy to think about. I've known Rob for almost 2 years. And a lot of these guys, like Ruan, I've known for 2 years. Nathan Hirsch, I've known for almost 2 years now. It's insane to see how all of this is kind of unfolding. You should collaborate with Iman Gadzi. Ultra Gold Coin. Why don't you hit him up and tell him that he should collaborate with me? I mean, I'm down to do collaboration with just about anyone, especially a guy so young. I talked to him on, what was it, when he first started building his channel, and I noticed his ad campaign, because I was getting targeted with his ad campaign, and he said in the video that he was 18, I believe, or 16, something like that. And that stuck out to me because the video ad that he was playing was actually really good. And so I hit him up on, I think it was like Instagram. I sent him a message and I was like, hey, we should do some collaboration. But he and I both were super busy at the time, so it never ended up happening. But if you're interested in seeing it, definitely reach out to him and tell him, hey, I would love to see you do some kind of collaboration with Serial Entrepreneur. I'm not opposed to doing it. And again, I promise I'm not sick, guys. It sounds like I'm sick, like it really does, and that's what congestion does. It kind of tears up your chest and your throat and stuffs you up, so that way you sound weird. But I promise, I'm not sick. Okay. All right, so we got 5 likes. That was kind of sad, considering there's 20 of you watching, but that's okay. We'll work with it. If you guys don't want to win a mentorship program, I don't care. I mean, hey, it just means I get to sell it to somebody else. So what questions do you guys have about starting a marketing agency? I'm only going to go till about 8:15 today, just because I've got some other stuff I want to do, to be honest, and I finally got my house situated. So I don't know if you guys know this, but like for the past, I don't know why I sit here and assume like you guys would know, but I did not have plumbing in my house for over 4 days. I couldn't take a shower. I couldn't take a shit. Sorry to be graphic, but it's the truth of the matter, and it sucked. Like, dude, it sucked. When you have to rely on friends and restaurants and grocery stores, not to mention restaurants, are closed on the inside right now because of coronavirus, like, this was the worst time to have, like, no plumbing in my house. And that's what happened. Ultra, what do you mean by 60-day exit plan? Like like an exit plan to sell your business? Oh crap, I forgot. This is the second time I've done. Okay, so now that we have 20 people here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put, if you guys would like, I'm live on Zoom right now. So you guys feel free, I just left a link in the chat. And you can click that link if you have Zoom, or even if you don't have a Zoom account, it is free to sign up. But you can actually hop on the Zoom call right now with me and talk to me. pull up the participant screen. See, all you have to do is hop in, and your name's going to pop up right here, and then you can actually verbally talk to me. So this is something new we're doing. We started doing it last week. I forgot I was even doing it now. But I'm glad I remembered. So if you guys want, again, I put the link in the chat. Fix my pipes. Trust me, man, if I could do anything, I would. But the unfortunate thing about life is you don't always get what you want. And one thing that I did want is to not have allergies. One thing that I do want is to not have allergies. Like, when pollen comes around in Georgia in the middle, like at the beginning of spring, I get stuffed here, I get like super weird sounding. What's going on, JC? Oh, she's back again. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, I get super stuffy. It's bad, man. Do any of y'all have allergies? It is not fun at all, let me tell you. Nate, what's going on, buddy? And if you guys don't know, Nate, actually, I want Nate in a second, I'm going to have you talk about it just because I want people to hear it from someone other than myself, what the experience is like inside our mentorship program. So if you guys don't know, I have a mentorship program where I go live every single Wednesday at 3 p.m. And I go live for about 30 minutes inside of a private group. And, excuse me. I go live inside of a private group, and these guys have a Q A similar to what we're doing right now. And they get to ask questions, and we can do a screen share, and I can show them, over the shoulder what I would do. I can literally take control of, so say they had a proposal they're working on, right? And they wanted some help on how to adjust their proposal or what to add to it or what to remove. The cool thing is we can do something like this, which is what we do. We do a Zoom call. They hop on. I'm able to go. I can take over their screen and show them exactly what I would do, right? So, Nate, just do me a favor, man. Unmute your mic for me in a second. And if you don't mind, if you don't want to, that's totally fine. But if you don't mind, man, I would love for you to explain to them a little bit about the mentorship program and why you feel like it's beneficial, I guess, for you. Just so people can get an idea of what actually goes on and not have to hear it from me. Because obviously, I'm going to talk about my product and tell everybody it's great. But other people might have a different opinion. But Nate, what do you think, man?
I would not mind sharing my experience whatsoever. So really, guys, if you are not in the mentorship, you're just missing out, like straight up, because a lot of times we get into this and we think, we kind of get ahead of ourselves. And so it's really nice to have Jordan there to kind of tell you to take a step back. So here's an example of that. I was in a situation where I was starting to build my front end sales process to get a client. And I hadn't thought of any of the back end processes. And, I basically was going to overwhelm myself and go and do things the absolute wrong way. And Jordan slowed the whole thing down and saved me a lot of time, a lot of money. And it's really cool every week to just kind of have that person to hold you accountable and also make sure you're on the right track. So huge value.
Right. And I think that's important, guys, because that's the thing a lot of people struggle with is you start to go down this road, right? When you're in your agency, you start with the learning process, which that's kind of something you can do on yourself, but you'll on your own, but you'll have questions, right? But then you get through the learning process, and let's say you get all your questions answered through the learning process, but the next step is, okay, now I have to start implementing everything that I learned. And I'm sure you guys have noticed there's a lot, right? So how do I go about implementing 400 different things? And in what order should I be implementing them? When should I start working on things? When should I start going to get clients? And like Nate said, he came to me, he's like, yeah, I think I'm ready to go start getting clients. And, I feel comfortable. I feel, confident in being able to do this. And I stopped him. I said, that's awesome, Nate. But let me ask you one question. Where are you at with your internal operations as far as your SOPs, standard operating procedures? And do you have people in place to manage these jobs once you get a client? He goes, oh, well, I've thought a little bit about it and I've done a little bit of preparation, but I haven't really put everything together yet. And that is seriously, guys, this is if not the number one biggest mistake, the second biggest mistake that people make in starting a business or starting their agency is they put the cart before the horse and they say, Screw all of the operations. I don't need operations. I don't need people to do the jobs yet. I just need clients. Then they go out and get clients, and and you guys have probably heard me tell this story now 100 times, and it's because I want you guys to see how important it is. Stop worrying about making money and getting clients, because I promise you, every second you spend worrying about getting money and getting clients is just time wasted that you're not going to get back, which will actually end up putting your agency or your business into an uncomfortable position that you won't be able to come back from, right? So spend that time that you're trying to spend getting clients and doing all this stuff to get prepared to actually get prepared. Like, go and look at, okay, and it's actually a lot easier than people think. You have to understand, okay, first, what is my service offering, right? That's where you need to start. So if I'm going to offer SEO, PPC, social, well, let's be specific, social ads, social content management, social community management. With regards, community management's like responding to comments, responding to messages. If I'm going to do email marketing, web design and development, content marketing, blog articles, video, that's a lot of services, right? And those all, I think I just listed off 9, maybe 10 different services. Out of those 9 to 10 different services, and all I said was, and that doesn't even count them all, because I said SEO. SEO is local, on page, off page. There's several different aspects to all of these different services that you could sell. So now that I know what I have to sell, I have to say, okay, well, what happens when I get a new client and they want social media marketing, content management? What do? Do you know? Do you have a plan in place? Because that is where everybody screws up. Everybody gets in it like you did. Everybody says that getting clients is the hardest part, and that is the biggest lie I've ever heard in my life. Because when you really, fine tune a process, getting the clients is not the hard part, especially if you know what you're doing in the actual digital marketing process. The hard part is actually determining, okay, when I get clients for social media content management, what do I do first? Well, it's all planning related, right? The first step is not, start coming up with pictures or start writing copy for posts. It's, okay, what is our theme? What are we going to focus on for this month and this quarter? Who is our target audience, right? What do they desire? Why do they buy this product, right? And then why do they really buy this product? Which is actually, people think that question's kind of redundant, but it's not. People buy a product because of some immediate or direct need or want or desire, right? But then there's like a deeper level to it, a more of an intrinsic value that they have with the product or service that they're buying, right? So if I buy something because I need, let's say I buy, here's a good example. Say I buy my cell phone, right? Why am I buying my cell phone? Well, I'm buying it because I want to be able to be connected to the world. Let's just say that's my top of the level, or no, let's get more broad than that. I'm buying it because I just want a cell phone, right? That's my first level need or desire. But why am I really buying this phone? And it's probably, it's 100% different for basically everybody out there, but we all have a lot of similarities as well. I'm buying this phone because I want to be able to get connected with my friends. I'm buying this phone because I want to fit in with people. And in this day and age, not having a smartphone, you look like a weirdo. I'm buying this phone because I love social media and let's say I don't have a laptop, right? There's always that deeper level. And that's what you're actually doing in the planning process, which will set you up to actually determine, okay, now that I know what this customer is like, what they buy, why they buy, the reason they use this product, now I can take that information and use it to curate content. Everybody always asks me, well, Jordan, I got a client on and they want me to manage their social media, but I don't know what to post. Well, that's because you haven't done your planning and your research. It's very simple to figure out what you should actually create or post when you know who the audience is. And that's the biggest thing. So you guys have to understand, planning out the processes, making sure all of those are set up before you go get clients is way more important than going out and landing deals. And the whole thing that I'm trying to summarize basically up by saying all of that is the reason that program that Nate just mentioned, the mentorship program, is so great is because before you even go down the path of wasting a ton of time trying to get clients to then realize later on that you can't even manage them, you have something like this where it's a group of people. We all have this discussion. So even though I'm talking to Nate in the group, there's 4 or 5 or 10 other people listening who get that same advice. And again, the other benefit is you're having someone who's made those mistakes that you guys are just about to go through now. Sorry, let me mute this real quick. I've already made those mistakes. And not to mention, a lot of my students have made mistakes that I haven't even made. So that's the best part of being in this community, is the fact that you're learning not only from me and my mistakes, but you're also learning from all of my students' mistakes that they've made. And I haven't even made all those mistakes. So there's tons of value in being in this program. But yeah, guys, mentorship program all the way. If you like this type of call, like if you can see all these people hopping on right here. So what we would do is, here's typically how that program works. I would look at, Juan. I'd say, Juan, do you have a question that you would like to ask? Juan would ask his question. We'd talk about it. We'd discuss it. I'd go through some examples. Then I'd look at Arvin. Arvin, do you have a question? And I'd just go through the line until I get done with the entire line. Then I say, okay, does anybody else have a second question they would like to ask? And that's it. So everybody gets to voice their concerns. I address them, and if I don't address them, you're always allowed to message me in the group afterwards, and I'm able to respond to those questions that you have there. You can even post a video there, and I can respond. So again, I'm trying to wrap this up as quickly as possible without making this a sales pitch, because it's just a $10 product. It's not even like, I don't really make any money off of this product. It's more of an acquisition product. It gets you in my funnel so you can look at my other products down the line. So I don't make money off of this. But the value in this program is so extreme, I promise you won't find anything like it out there. The email I got is called the 60-day exit plan, and it is about DMS 2.0 VIP. Oh, the DMS 2.0 VIP program is our straight line program. We're selling that for $2,000. And what you get included in that is you actually get DMS 2.0, and you get 8 weeks of training with me to help your agency grow. It is in a group setting, but it's a very, very small group setting. And we do hour-long trainings instead of 30 minutes like in the mentorship program. So a lot of value there. But a 60-day exit plan, typically when people talk about an exit plan, they're talking about how to get out of the business, or selling their business, or getting acquired by another company. So that's all that's really talking about. Like ties and Frankie C says that's what a lot of courses miss, like ties and specific, since they literally don't mention SOP whatsoever. And that's what I like when I saw that, when I first went through Ty Lopez's program and I saw that it had nothing about how to actually manage the clients, how to build the campaigns. That's when I knew his whole program was a fluke, because I can teach you what SEO is, but if you can't teach me how to implement it, then what's the value there? I can understand it now, but how do I actually implement it for my clients' programs? That it just doesn't make sense. How can I get clients right now with all this pandemic and all the overall immobilization? I think you mean immobilization of the market. And what I would say to you is, the biggest thing that you can tell people right now is they're getting a bigger bang for their buck. And what that means is ad costs right now are cheaper than they will be when coronavirus. Right now with all this pandemic and all the overall. Sorry about that, guys. Make sure you please hit the mute button when you guys come into the call. That's all I ask. But with the coronavirus being the way it is right now, ad costs have dropped. Why? Because businesses are getting all freaked out about the coronavirus, which I totally get that. There's definitely reason to be freaked out. But at the same time, they're not realizing what they're missing out on, because cost per thousand has dropped substantially due to the fact that the inventory has opened up. So what does that mean? What am I talking about? Look at ads as inventory. All right. Let's say Facebook only had 1,000 people on their platform. All right. If they have 1,000 people, that means that there are 1,000 people that you can send your ads to, right? But out of those 1,000 people, there's probably 200 on at a time. At any given time, right? The other 800 are off doing and living their life, right? So that means I can't advertise to them if they're not using the platform. But let's say, another 200 fluctuates in, those first 200 fluctuate out. Now I have a different group of 200. All right, that is inventory. That's what we're looking at. You have a potential to advertise to 1,000 people. So your inventory is 1,000, right? So what's happened is, let's say we have that 1,000 inventory still, and at first there were 10 businesses advertising to 1,000 people. Let's just say that makes the average cost per 1,000, which is the entire group, but the average cost per 1,000 is $100, right? And that's for all 5 businesses across the board. It's going to cost them $100 a piece to reach all those 1,000 people. Now, 3 of those businesses leave and we only have 2 that are advertising still on Facebook. What does that mean? Well, I have 2 businesses competing versus 5. meaning that it's going to be a lot cheaper because of the fact that Facebook's not going to keep charging me $200 if I have all the inventory I want and they're not selling it. They're going to have to lower their price so they can sell some more inventory. Otherwise, they're not going to have any ads running on their platform, meaning that they're going to go out of business. So that's exactly what has happened today. Is coronavirus has actually dropped the cost per thousand of ads. Like, if you're not running ads for your agency, like, you should be doing it now. Like, yo, you should definitely be at least get your top of funnel cold audiences targeted, right? Because you can do that right now. You can set up some cold traffic ads to run to cold business owners in your market or in whatever market. You can actually start running ads to them right now. You're going to get it probably 5 times cheaper than you would if you waited until after coronavirus. But the good thing is, if you can get those cold audiences in to watch, let's say, 75% of a video, even if coronavirus were to disappear tomorrow, now I have my cold traffic that I can remarket to, which we all know is a little bit more expensive up front, but usually a higher conversion ratio, right? Meaning I'm much more likely to close these deals. So that's just some food for thought, guys. Something to think about there. It's definitely affecting the market, but the biggest thing you can go into a business and say is, look, Mr. Business Owner, I totally get it. Things are kind of freaky right now. They're definitely scary. The good thing is we can get 10 times the amount of exposure for your business than we could have a month ago without the coronavirus. So even though, you're doing less in sales, the other thing about this is your competition is also not marketing right now. So if we can put your business out in front of the market, you're going to be the only one talking to them. Let's say that's a roofing contractor, right? No other roofing contractors are advertising right now. But let's say I put your roofing contractor in there. Who's the one that's going to get the leads? The guy advertising right now, not the ones who stopped because the coronavirus is going on. All right, guys. So since we have a little bit of time left, what time is it? Yeah, we got about 13 minutes left. Let me make sure I didn't get anything. Okay. We got about 13 minutes left. So what I want to do is, I believe it was either Juan or Arvin were on here first, unless JC has a question she didn't get to ask last week, because she was actually first. I'll give her a second. I think she's typing. Nate actually has a question in the chat. Would you recommend working as a freelancer for an agency if you can create Facebook ads very well and have successful case studies? Yeah, definitely. Because people are afraid, I feel like, to work as a freelancer because they're afraid it's going to have some negative connotation on their brand or their business, or they won't be seen as a legitimate agency. Definitely don't avoid that. In the beginning, that is one of the best ways to start generating revenue. We still, actually, I told Ian today, there's some other freelancing platforms that we found. I told him to get us signed up on those because they're great ways to generate leads. Like, freelancing platforms or freelancing in general is a great way to strum up new business. But outside of that, Juan, did you have a question that you wanted to ask? If so, feel free to unmute your mic now. Yes, you, Juan. Carlos Valenzuela. Haha. Yes, if you have a question, you can unmute your mic right now, and you are free to ask a question. But if not, tell me no, and I'm going to let Arvin go next, because I believe Arvin was in right after you. Also, yeah, Frankie C. just made a fantastic point. What are people doing since they're not at work? They're sitting at home on their phones, on social media. Guys, if you want to hit the people, right now is the day to hit the people. And that is the perfect reason or the perfect way to sell a new contract to someone. All right, Juan says he's good. Arvin, did you have a question that you would like to ask? And guys, there are no stupid questions. I feel like people get intimidated to ask me a question on this sometimes because they're afraid I'm going to shame them. Number one, I would never shame you or make you feel like an idiot because I know where you're at. I know what it's like to not have any idea what the hell's going on. Because when I first got into this, I didn't either. The good thing was I didn't take it all on at once like you did. When I started, it was back in 2007, and all I was really focusing on was Facebook because that's all that really mattered to me at the time. Now, search engine optimization, pay-per-click, those were all still very prominent, but all I cared about was social media because it was free and I was in high school. So, but you guys, you guys have to learn all of this at once. So I can only imagine how frustrating or complex it can get. Arvin says he's good. Finn, do you have a question? Your turn. If so, unmute your mic and you can ask that now. Nate, I'm going to let you go next after him. And then let me look at the chat over here. Finn is good. Nate, did you have a question you'd like to ask while you're on? If not, you can just go ahead and say no as well. And I will go over to the chat in YouTube and answer those questions there.
Yeah, man. So on that freelancer note, how would you recommend finding an agency to pair with and partner with on that Upwork and making an account there? Or
yeah, that's going to be your best bet, because here's the thing. If you go and start calling agencies and say, hey, I run Facebook ads, you actually might get a bite, because Facebook ads and good Facebook ad managers are very, very, very hard to find. Trust me on that. So you actually might get a bite if you tried, talking about, but the issue is they're going to want you to come on as an employee, not as a contractor, unless they're a smaller bit. So I would say this, Nate, if you're going to try it, try calling the smaller agencies where you can tell they have like 3 to 5 people at their agency and that's it. They might be interested. Don't go after the major agencies. They're not going to contract you. They're just going to hire an employee. Outside of that, I would say definitely yes. Upwork, FreeUp, freelancer.com, fiverr.com. There's like literally 1,000 sites out there now for outsourcing VAs, freelancers, stuff like that. So that's exactly what I would do. How is my Facebook ad manager? I will let you know in like another 2 months. Because that's the thing with the Facebook ad campaign, to really get an understanding of what your results are going to be like, it takes at least 2 to 3 consistent months of spending for you to get the data and the information that you need to make a decision about whether a person's good or not. Now, that is unfortunate because it means, crap, I have to potentially chance 2 months to 3 months of someone testing stuff out for me to get some type of, or for me to be able to make some type of decision about this person. But I can tell you this, I'm fairly confident in my new manager. The only issue with them is he's a little expensive. For an ad spend up to, I think it's ad spend up to $3,000, his cost is $1,500 a month. But that being said, I am able to pass off creative development, copywriting, setup, analytics and tracking. They put all of that into place for me. So they write my copy. We send them images. They make them into images that we use on the ads themselves, or they edit them. They do analytics setups. They do reporting. What else? They do the ad setup, audience management, all of that. So I've only been using this guy for about a month. So I'll be able to let you know how he's doing in about another month and a half. You're coughing and sniffling. I hope you're well. I am. It's all allergies, guys. I promise you. Like, I feel fine. It's just allergies. Allergies mess me up worse than the coronavirus could. I'll tell you that much. Because if I got the coronavirus, it'd just be like me getting the flu again, which I had earlier this year. So, it's just allergies. Thank you, Frankie C. What do y'all think of Kat Howell? Yes, another great... Well, honestly, I can't say anything about her training because I've never taken it. I can tell you that she's very successful at what she does. And you don't get to be where she is by sucking at running Facebook ads. She definitely knows what she's talking about when it comes to Facebook ads. Now, anything else in the digital marketing space, I couldn't tell you because I've never seen her talk about anything other than Facebook. But I can tell you, if you're trying to learn Facebook, she is definitely someone to learn from. Just bought the mentorship and the intro level SMMA course. Soon we'll be buying the full SMMA course. 2 years following you now, and I've got 3 clients and need to scalate. Oh gosh, I love it. So, and you want to know the funny thing? The guys who have been fixing my plumbing, it was 2 guys, they're Hispanic. And so it was great because I'm like okay at Spanish. I'm definitely not great at Spanish. But it's been a fun 2 days trying to talk in Spanish to them. I've been having to use Google Translate quite a bit for some of the more complex stuff. But I can see how you would put scalate instead of just scale now, because I was saying words like in Spanish, I was like, oh crap, that didn't make any sense at all. Sometimes that happens. That's the barrier to working with someone in a different area or region with a different dialect or language. transplant center called? Jordan, can you speak on customers that want to cancel because of the coronavirus? Whew. Yeah, I can. And here's the thing, man. And I think this might be the last question we get to. So here's the thing. You're not going to be able to stop everybody from pulling out. And as unfortunate as that is, there's no reason that you can possibly give them that's going to make them listen. So for example, let's talk about smaller businesses. Smaller businesses are taking a huge hit right now. And that's because they don't have 6 months of money in the bank that they can just fork out to all their employees to keep them happy and then make sure that operations still go on once all of this ends. Smaller businesses have maybe a month, maybe 2 months in the bank where they can really hold out without more revenue coming in. And that's the real big issue, is there's so much money going out, but no money coming in, right? Imagine having to pay, let's just say 4 employees their full-time salary, let's just say even at 80% of their full-time salary, you're paying them, but for these 2 to 3 weeks that this is going on, you're not making any money. That is massive. That is a huge hit to anybody. But that's why there's a few things, Alex, I can't speak to, there's nothing I can really tell you that you're going to be able to say. Oh, that was bad. I'm sorry, I got distracted. There's nothing I can tell you about what you could say to potentially keep a client on board other than the fact that, again, I would reiterate, look, now is not the time to pull back. Now is the time to, if anything, maybe double down, because your ad costs are going to be so much cheaper. Yes, it may hurt right this very second, but I can promise you this, when you get done, when we get through this coronavirus pandemic or issue or whatever you want to call it, you're going to come out on top because you're going to be one of the only businesses out there that was still consecutively and consistently marketing. Do you guys know the story behind... what is it? Wrigley? I believe it's Wrigley gum. Do you guys know Wrigley gum? You know who that is? They make like Juicy Fruit and Big Red and the Wrigley Spearmint and all that. Are you guys familiar? So back in the Depression, I believe, this is a story that I first heard when I was in college, because I took a lot of marketing classes in college. And one of the first stories that really stuck with me was the fact that Wrigley went through, I gotta look it up now because it's gonna bother me. I think it's Wrigley gum. Yeah, Wrigley Company. So, yeah, they own Juicy Fruit. They have, what is that, Double Mint, Spearmint, Winter Fresh, and Big Red, right? Those are their big names that you guys have probably heard of if you guys chewed gum back in the 90s and early 2000s. Now everybody buys like 5 gum and all that stuff. But they used to be a big, big player in the gum industry. They went through the Depression, and they were one of the only companies that did not stop advertising even through the Depression. They were one of the only, and it's gum, guys. It's gum. It's not a necessity. It's not something you have to live. It's freaking gum, right? But these guys were killing it even throughout the Depression because of the fact that they kept marketing while all the other gum players pulled out because they felt they needed to save their budget, to pay for employees, to pay for everything else that was going on. So that is one story. I'm sure if I did some research, I could find more for you. But guys, the best thing about all of this for businesses is the fact that, again, you're going to get 3 to 5 times the amount of exposure for a third of the cost. So yes, it sucks. Yes, businesses, or not businesses, but their customers may not come right this very second, but by putting out your name, by being the only one who consistently stayed advertising when no one else was, that means you're going to, basically you're going to have what we call top of mind awareness, which is one of the most, if not the most important thing in marketing. Why? Because if I don't know who you are when it comes time to buy a product in your industry, then I don't care. I'm never gonna buy from you. I'm gonna go buy from the guy who's put his ad in front of me, either on TV, on the radio, or on Facebook, or whatever. That's who I'm gonna buy from. Why? Because it was in my head. It had nothing to do, unless you already have a strong connection or commitment to a specific product. Then I'm going to go with the first thing that I know and trust. And usually the first thing that you know and trust is the last thing that you've seen. Even if you don't know that company at all, who owns it, who manages it, whatever, one thing that you can know for sure is that if I saw your company in an ad online or on Facebook or TV or radio, whatever, because you have that ad online, I automatically assimilate trust with you. And the reason why is because that is just it's just the natural tendency that people have to relating themselves to something, right? When you have a big time auto dealer on TV promoting their auto dealership and showing you all their cars, you start to get that sense of trust about them just because of the fact that they're advertising on TV. You're like, holy crap. And even though you don't think about this every time because you're so used to commercials now, but in the back of your mind, subconsciously, you're sitting there saying, that has to be at least somewhat of a legitimate dealership. Why? Because they have an ad on TV and it's in front of me right now. It's playing. And I've seen that location physically in person before, right? So biggest thing, guys, before I get out of here, because I cannot go on coughing and making you guys think I'm sick, because I promise I'm not sick again. But also this talking is not helping it at all. And I have a lot of video I have to shoot tomorrow, so I need to save my voice. But before I get out of here, guys, the biggest thing is you don't need to fret or fear or worry about the coronavirus. What you need to do is figure out how you can creatively work up new business. Stop worrying about what everybody else is doing, because everybody else is doing the thing they shouldn't be doing. They're worrying and stressing and putting all of this pressure on themselves to make something happen, when all you have to do is take a step back, get a little creative, a little innovative, and say, okay, how can we be different than everybody else out there? What is everybody else doing? Well, everybody else is probably panicking. Okay, cool. So let's do something the opposite of that. That's going to get us some positive exposure that is going to show businesses that we're still here, even though the competitors that we have are not. Excuse me. Yep, and that's another thing. JC, great point. That's why all business owners should remember these times and plan to keep reserves. Cash flow is key. Times like these are separate the men from the boys, not politically. That was funny. But that is so true, guys. You have to understand, like, one thing, everybody always used to ask me when I first started really getting successful on YouTube and stuff like that, the biggest question people ask is, oh, cool, how much money are you making? And it was like they thought that I was just going to pay myself all the money I was making, right? Because at the time we were doing, I think, $20,000 to $25,000 a month in revenue. And they're like, all of my friends who are just completely naive are like, oh my God, you're making $20,000? I'm like, I mean, my business is making 20 grand. I was only paying myself about $1,500 to $2,000 a month. Why? Because I was taking all of that other $18,000. I was taking about $3,000 of it, putting it away for taxes just in case. Not even three, probably about $2,000 of it, putting it away for taxes because I have a lot of expenses in the first few years, so I get to write a lot of that off. So I don't have to put as much into taxes, but I was putting a little in for taxes into a savings account because I don't have to pay it immediately. I can pay it quarterly. So I get that savings boost. I was taking some of it, and that was going towards expenses, right? I was taking some of it and putting it into new ideas so I could try and find new ways to strum up business, new ways to find new customers. But then the rest of it was sitting in a bank account, and I was not touching it. I wouldn't go in there and say, you know, I spent through my $2,000 that I allotted myself this month, but I really want to go to this, you know, festival or whatever the hell you guys are doing these days, and waste it on that. Why? Because I know that down the road, something could happen. And you want to know what, guys? Something has happened where I did need that money. And I'm really thankful now that I saved it, because I probably wouldn't be here today if I hadn't saved that money. Because business is not always up. And if you guys think that business and profit margins and the graph just goes like this, you're wrong. It's like it jumps all over the place because you cannot predict what is going to happen. If I could predict that the coronavirus was going to happen, I would have sold out my Bitcoin forever ago when it was all at 10K. I would have bought into all these stocks. Like, dude, I would have been banking. But I can't predict what's going to happen. I can only prepare for what's going to happen. So try not to predict. Try to prepare for the future. right? You don't need to predict what's going to happen. You don't need to be psychic. I was going to say psychopathic. You don't need to be psychic, but you do need to prepare for what's going on in the future. And you cannot know. It is impossible for you to know. But you can have an idea that, okay, well, in the past we have had depressions. In the past we had the home bubble. In the past we've had N1H1. Shit like that can happen again. I should probably make sure that I'm not one of those businesses that gets hung up when something like that happens again. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think that is going to be it for today. Let me make sure we don't have any important pressing questions that I absolutely have to answer. Trending pet supplies. Not a problem. It's not all free 99, I will tell you that. I do have some products out there that definitely cost some money, but the YouTube stuff is all free. Because I know that if I can get you interested or hooked with my channel just by the free content, I know that you're going to end up buying one of my programs. And that's actually what happens. Like 90% of the time, people who buy my program are like, yo, I saw your YouTube videos and I couldn't find another YouTuber out there that was actually doing something like you're doing or actually putting the information out there like you're putting it out there. So that's why I bought your course. Anyways, enough about me. Guys, so what we're going to do is this. We didn't even hit 15 likes. So what we're going to do is we're going to save these mentorship giveaways, and I'm going to do a big one like I did last week. I'm going to do a big one next week for the mentorship giveaway since we had kind of a small crowd tonight. So no worries there. And if you guys didn't see what I did last week, I gave away to everybody who was on the stream. Like literally everybody who was on the stream got free access. So my point being, if you want free access and you don't even want to have to do anything to earn it, just show back up next week and you can get it then. And if you can't wait, it's $10. If you absolutely can't wait, it's only $10. So check that out. All the links that you need for any of my programs are in the description. If you want me to build your agency with you, check out that. That is also in the description. It's called the Done With You Agency Program. You can't get any more straightforward than that. That's in the description below. DMS 2.0 is in the description. The $7 program for agency startups is in the description. The mentorship program, all of those programs are in the description, and I promise you guys, you're going to want to check those out. These are the top tier programs in marketing agency startup or starting your own SMMA. And we have the students to back it up, man. I'm not afraid to make that bold statement that we have some of the best, if not the best training out there, because my students are the ones who say it. And the greatest part is my students have always come from Ty Lopez or, Ryan Hildreth and Hayden Peddle and all these fake guys who don't actually know how to run an agency. They always come from those programs, then they buy mine and they're like, shit, I wish I wouldn't have wasted that money. So if you want to make the best investment that you can make during the coronavirus or during this trying time, I challenge you to at least check out the $7 Ultimate Startup Program for starting an SMMA. That will get you introduced to what my training is like and just show you. Like I literally had a comment. I'm going to show you guys this comment and then we're going to get off. So Gilbert, and another really great fact about this is Gilbert has been following me for a long time. He's an older guy, right? I think he's probably in his 50s or 60s. But he finally bought the $7 program to see if he wanted to get in, and this is his response. Sorry, my phone I cracked my phone the other day. What a fire hose experience in these videos. Anyone who wants to get the best bang for their buck will be overwhelmed with excellence. I can't read it because it's backward. All right. With excellent content in this Get Acquainted series, Jordan makes this so easy to follow and learn. Wow. I think that might have been backwards for you guys too. I'm not quite sure, but if it was, I'm sorry. But guys, I'm telling you, this $7 program is really going to tell you everything you want to know. Whether you should actually buy my $549 program or my $4,500 program or not. And so I recommend checking that out. It's just $7. That's a cup of coffee. It's a McDonald's outing. It's whatever. It's nothing if you really are serious about it. Arvin, yes, it's $7. It's not the DMS 2.0. I want to make that very clear. It's not our big flagship course that everybody buys. It's a startup course, but it's full of information. Like, it is flipped for y'all. Damn it, I knew it was flipped for y'all. All right, well, I'm sorry about that. But I promise you that was a real comment. If you see the ad, you can see it in the ad because it was on an ad. But it's only $7. It's right below in the description. It's called the Ultimate SMMA Startup Course or something like that. And you can get it there for just $7. Not to mention, you'll get access. Well, you won't get access for free, but you have the opportunity to purchase the mentorship program as soon as you get that as well. But I'm telling you guys, if you really, really, really want to figure out if this is something for you, that program is exactly why. You guys are the reason why we made that program. If you're one of the people out there that are like, I just don't know yet, I don't know if I want to buy Jordan's or anybody else's, that program is meant to show you what you can do. But everybody, I really appreciate you all for hopping on, even though it has been a crazy couple of weeks because of the coronavirus. I can't wait for all of this to calm down so we can all get back to our day-to-day lives and stop freaking out and stressing out over silly stuff. Because, guys, and let me just put this out there for you guys, because there's so much stupid fucking media. Like, I'm sorry for cussing, but guys, it pisses me off because it's like there are over 18,000 influenza deaths and there's like 100 coronavirus deaths just in 2020, and everybody's freaking out about coronavirus. But we're not paying any attention to, the regular flu that has killed over 18,000 people. What the hell is wrong with you guys? And I'm not talking about you, because I'm not saying that you did that. But those of you who are out there propagating all of this bullshit that you don't know shit about, please get a life. Please stop spreading bullshit to freak everybody out, to cause all of the toilet paper shortages and freaking... Like, dude, I went to the grocery store yesterday. They didn't have cream cheese. Why the hell do they not have cream cheese? It's cream cheese. Who's buying all the cream cheese because of a virus? And what the hell is wrong with... Like, seriously, dude, I don't understand it. But anyways, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Just stop with the propaganda. It's not helping anybody, and it definitely doesn't make you look cool or informed or anything like that. It makes you look like an ignorant asshole, if anything. And trust me, people are thinking that if that's you out there. So if anybody hears this message and that's you, you're welcome. I helped. I promise. But I'm going to get out of here for now, guys. I love all of you. I hope you all have a great week. Stay safe. Don't get the coronavirus. Stay inside. Social distancing or whatever the hell they're throwing out there now. Hand sanitizer, that's right, JC. Tons of hand sanitizer. You might as well just drink it. What is that? Is that water? Okay. Hand sanitizer and water is all you need. That's what JC says. Trust Mama JC. All right, guys. I'm going to get out of here. You guys have a great night. I will talk to you guys next week. But until then, guys, Serial Entrepreneur out.